Okay, so sorry, I got an Amber Alert on my phone. Um, yeah, so the Four of Wands is talking about energy, right? That's being put towards something beautiful, like a relationship, yes? Or it's like a place where everyone is coming together to celebrate something, to celebrate love, maybe, or to celebrate just a feeling, right? And this could be a feeling of success. And it's one that's very sturdy in what it is providing for you. Right now it is. Um, Definitely. You're seeing this person as a leader in your life just because they are doing something that no one else can. So when someone does that, then they are definitely looked at and they're felt, their energy is felt as, being a leader for sure. Let's look at the past for you. Okay, so you have Uranus in the past. This is the Fool. This is Uranus is the planet of surprises. It's sort of like that energy of God. It's that divine energy that comes in, right? It's almost like Uranus makes the impossible possible, and it's through the idea. It is through your ideas and your concepts that anything is possible, and that is very Aquarian, right? So Aquarius does have an attachment to this card here. I've heard people even say Aries as well. But the Fool is talking about going out and being inspired to take risks, being inspired to open yourself up to having experiences that you've never had before. And that can be scary sometimes. It can be enlightening. And it can also be, what else can it be? It can be, you can discover yourself when you allow yourself to go out and experience things that you've never experienced before. It's like you're uncovering a part of yourself that has never been reached by you. It's like uncharted territory, even though it's been there all along. It's like um, um, how America was to the rest of the world before it started to become explored and colonized. It was always there. No one knew about it. Well, some people did because they lived there. But you know what I mean. It's like self discovery really is what it's about. And in the past, I feel like you've tried to take actions in terms of finding yourself and having these epiphanies of self discovery, and you probably have done that in relationships that may have not worked out in the past. Because we have the awareness of conflict here, which comes together and forms a harmony, actually, because it's very interesting. I'm looking at the Four of Wands, and the Roman numeral for four is, the letter I and the letter five. Or sorry, the letter I and the letter V, and that's 1 and 5. Okay, but there's some subtraction going on here. You're subtracting 1 from the 5, but if you add the 1 to the 5, it's going to 6, which is the lovers, which is talking about harmony, right? So I'm thinking that there was some dealing with trying to reharmonize some part of yourself or some part of your life after having, a bad experience with, maybe work, because you have the Queen of Pentacles and the Sun, or it could have been a relationship that didn't quite go the way that you wanted it to, or it could have just been, a friendship that you trusted someone in, and you relied on them to nurture your experience, as in terms of you guys being friends, but you may have felt like that kind of fell through a little bit, or your experience with them was dampened by something that was beyond both of your control. It was almost karmic, you know what I mean? Um, Wow. In the past, you have the Five of Cups. So this is disappointment in terms of something that you couldn't control, right? Because it's talking about fear, because you're being called to face your fears of something that was inevitable, right? And it's in terms of your belief systems, because this is five. Fives do deal with the Hierophant, seeing the good and the evil, the light side and the dark side of a situation. Um, When things happen to us that we feel ruined by emotionally, you definitely have to tap into your belief systems to help you cope with the traumas of the losses that you experience, right? And it's almost like you have to be patient with yourself, because in this card there are three cups that have spilled over, right? You're no longer waiting for it to happen. It has happened, right? So now the waiting period is really you waiting to get over it and turn around and see what else needs to be understood from this. This is Mars in Scorpio, okay? And Mars is exalted in Scorpio. So this could even be feelings of jealousy, you know what I mean? And it's almost like when you do things out of jealousy, then you are damaging, right? You are damaging something. And that's another stigma that Scorpio has, is that, they come in and they damage things, they destroy things. So you literally are destroying parts of yourself through the resentment, the fear, the jealousy, the disappointment. Um, and this could even just be not believing in oneself enough. It's like you don't even have that spiritual strength to be able to access, source to help pull you out of it. It's almost like you're not even trying to go there, even though you are having these really intense feelings, but you're still not letting yourself realize that you could turn those feelings into something else, right? If you can have bad feelings, you can have good feelings. If your good feelings can turn into bad feelings, then your bad feelings can turn into good feelings. It's talking about transmutation of energy, right? And the realization that there's always a better way. So now, let's look at your anxieties. Your anxieties have to do with making things work, right? Being practical. It's the practicalities that might be deterring you from doing things that you feel like you want to do, or doing things that you feel like you should do, or, just even making sense of what you are doing. Jupiter expands everything he touches, good and bad, like I said. And this is an understanding for something. This is an understanding for how two parts come together to make a whole, how two parts can make a whole, and how two parts can also be separate at the same time, right? It's Capricorn, so it's behind Aquarius, but this is trying to figure that out. It's trying to figure out that sense that two parts can make a whole, and they can also be their own two parts as well. That's very Aquarian. Um, this has High Priestess energy as well, so it's almost like you're anticipating something. You can see it growing, right? Jupiter expansion, and it's like your dealings with it have been a little reckless, or they may have been a little not as matured as you would like them to be, just because this is a 2, it is not like a 10, and it is, representative of Gemini energy as well, with the Roman numeral 2, and that's one of the youngest signs. So it's talking about, a concept of how to do things, efficiently, when things start to fluctuate and get a little bit out of control. It's like you're trying to still hold it down. And I did bring this agate, this really huge agate that I have right here, and you're reading to ground the energy, and it is feeling more grounded than usual. You have some earth cards here. You have some water cards, so your energy is there as well. It's like you're trying to feel balanced, right? You're trying to make things work. You're trying to deal with the changes and the constant flow of fluctuations. It's like if you think of things as constantly being in flow, then you'll be able to flow with it, right? Because look, this card has like a sailboat, on the surface of the water behind it. So it's kind of like you definitely have to change with the current, and you definitely have to change with, the wind patterns, and you have to change with, the motion of the seas, right? It's not like you'll be able to do anything about that. You have to adapt, and really, it is about adaptability right now because we're in a mutable season, and Mercury is retrograde. He actually is in his what do they call it? It's a shadow phase, but stationary direct is where he is because he's not. He has just stopped the retrograde. He's standing still, or what looks to be standing still, and then he's going to move direct. I believe Neptune might even be going direct if it hasn't already gone direct, and that is your sign, or that is your planet, your ruling planet in your sign. Mars is also in your sign. So you need to be putting some aggressions towards um, you know, things that you'd like to see happen for yourself in your life, right? It's like Mars is very egocentric. He's very impulsive. He's very his experience is very valuable to him, right? So this is what it's saying right now. You have to value your experience more. Step into the power of your identity and your individuality and who you are and understand what is meant for you to learn, right? From all of the experiences that you've had. And I mean, think about how your year has gone. Think about how the past 2 years have gone, right? Because when Neptune comes into your sign, it's there for a long time. No one in this lifetime, really, unless you are a Pisces now or an Aries, Taurus or Gemini. No one else will ever see Neptune in their sign because it just takes way too long to get around. And the fact that it is in Pisces right now means that there is something that is kind of foggy that you guys are trying to figure out, but it's like it's beyond your understanding because it is Neptune. Neptune is so far away that it's like it almost warps our concept of time and distance, right? It's like we can imagine like where the moon is because we can see it, and you can also see like Mars, you can see Jupiter sometimes, and you can see Saturn, you can see Venus sometimes, but you're definitely not gonna see Uranus or Neptune. Okay, so it's almost like we know that those things are there, but we have proof because scientists have shown us images, but it's not like you guys can say that you've been there. You know what I mean? Um, your Mars position has a Mars card. It's Mars in Leo. Leo is a sign of boldness, and it's a sign of attentiveness, but it's like the attentiveness that you give to yourself, right? And the effort that is given to promoting yourself. Mars in Leo is saying that there's aggression being put into your belief systems, your awareness, and your understanding for who you are. How do you use your belief systems to help you cope with the changes and the challenges of life, right? How do you use your belief systems to help you keep focused on the main goal, on the big picture? You may be feeling opposition. You may be feeling like there's obstacles getting in your way. You might be feeling like other people don't believe in you. You may not even believe in yourself. You know what I mean? But what it is really about is understanding why you need to believe in yourself, how you can believe in yourself, the importance of believing in yourself, and understanding how you can. You know what I mean? That the possibility is there. You also need to make a choice. Do you want to believe in yourself or do you want to continue to, you know, believe in others not believing in you? Right? Because really, sometimes it's just shit that we're making up in our own heads and other people are really just living their own lives. Honestly. Um, yeah, so, this is ruled by the chariot, the sevens. Um, and it is talking about forward movement, wanting to progress forward, to accelerate at something. You know, people are going to get in the way. People are going to be like, you know, not believe in you. People are going to think that you might be a little bit crazy about what it is that you're doing, or people may just be trying to distract you, right, from what's really important. You might even be distracting yourself from what's important because it is on the Mars, right? The self. And the Venus here, and your advice is the devil. So what is this? The devil, okay. It's 10 and it's 5, right? So it's the awareness of the challenges that you are facing and the challenges or how your belief system is being challenged by the overindulgence or the overexpansion of something, of an idea that has actually manifested into something that is real. It's almost like someone else's concepts are your reality. Or, you know, yeah, you are allowing someone else's concept or their belief system. Damn, you're letting success and the way you see it, how you achieve it, what it means, self-value, that affects how you value other people. That's like getting in the way of your relationships, right? Because you have the devil right here in your relationships. Is there like an unhealthy relationship, right? Or one that has the potential to be unhealthy? You know, you might be being coerced or tricked by someone. It's definitely saying that a situation needs to be understood as being unhealthy, so the advice can be taken that you need to detach yourself from the unhealthy situation. And you could be creating the unhealthy situation yourself, you know what I mean? And it could be affecting your relationships. And that's why this card is in the Venus placement. Capricorn is the zodiac sign that is affiliated with time, codependency, working hard, staying intently focused on something, staying tied down by a project or by something that is, you know, what is there to gain? That's what I'm getting. Like, what is there to gain from this relationship? That's what you need to think about. What is there to gain from it? Does it align with your belief systems? Do you even know what your belief systems are? Do you know what you believe? It's almost like if you don't know that you are creating this place for yourself, this dungeon, and you're just kind of like going there routinely, but you don't realize that you need to turn the lights on, right? There's a candle in this card. Turn the light on so you can see that thing that's tricking you and making you feel like it's not dangerous, or you don't need to get away from it, right? It's like you got the blinders on because there's some kind of, the way that you see things hasn't changed, right? And the devil card is definitely encouraging change so that your karma can be changed, paid off, or redirected. Um, when we get in situations that affect us in terms of who we actually allow ourselves to become, really, then you have to like think about how you're giving your power away to something that actually didn't deserve your power and wasn't even really there to take it at one point. So it's almost like that thing doesn't even really need to be there. You're just allowing it to be there. And this is because it's something that you want that you probably don't really need. It's almost like you might want to go at it alone, or you may want to just kind of do things on your own, or you don't want any help from anybody, or it's like, man, the devil card. I can go on and on about this card. You really need to break free from something so that you can experience more pleasures out of life, basically. Okay, so let's look at the energy moving forward for you. It's another 5. It's, the slander within, the mind, fighting, disagreements. Your belief systems are being tested and challenged. It's like you've taken yourself to such a severe place in your thought patterns, in your thought process, that it's actually making you feel very defeated as a person, or you're feeling defeated within your own reality, right? Your belief system. So you create your own reality, right? So what you tell yourself actually becomes something, or what you say to yourself, you start believing it, even if it's not intended, right? You're not like, I'm going to say this so that I remember it every day. You're fat. You know what I mean? If you keep saying I'm fat, then you'll never get better. You know what I mean? It's like you've got to believe that things can be better. Yeah? And the devil card doesn't want you to believe that things can be better. The 5 of Cups doesn't want you to believe that things can be better. The 5 of Swords doesn't want you to believe that things can be better. The 4 of Cups is saying things can be better, but you don't want to believe it. It's like that type of thing. It's crazy. It's almost like you are pushing away your destiny, which is kind of crazy because the devil is attached to Saturn, which is karma, which is talking about destined, cycles, things that were meant to happen to you. Sometimes, I don't know anybody that's ever been on like anything like heroin or any opioid or anything crazy like that. But, when people become, hooked on things like that, it's part of their karmic experience. And it's crazy that you would think that someone would even not deserve, but be assigned an experience like that, right? It's the belief systems. It's like those tests that happen, how you're being tested. It's almost like you might even be testing yourself. The Temperance card isn't here, so you may have already been tested and you probably failed that test, right? And that's what you're feeling like. It's almost like an opportunity came, you missed it. Another opportunity came, you may have missed it. But you weren't recognizing things as opportunities because you weren't woke to the fact that things could be better in terms of taking an opportunity, right? You have a card that involves opportunity, the 2 of Pentacles, and your anxieties, right? You were having anxieties over an opportunity that presented itself. Therefore, you didn't know what to do with it. You don't know how to handle it. Some of you. Yeah, dude. 5 of Swords. So that's energy moving forward. It's saying that, no one's going to feel like they've won out of this situation or out of the outcome or what, the future holds. Meaning, like, as time progresses, because I don't really like to say the outcome, because it's really not like the end all be all. It's not like this card is going to manifest itself into your life and then you're just going to like stop living. This is the energy moving forward. What are you going to do when this presents itself to you? When you realize, wow, we were doing all of this for nothing. Or I made you feel like you had to prove yourself to me for no reason, and now you feel like you can't be around me anymore. Or, this could even be with work too, because the fives do have to deal with the Hierophant, which does have to deal with work as well. Some of you are feeling bad over leaving work. Maybe some of you were fired. Maybe some of you were let go, or you had to leave work for some reason, you know. Maybe there were some disagreements that were happening. Maybe there were some, uh, there was a lack of judgment. Maybe there were some concepts and some perceptions that weren't, matching up. You just didn't really have the faith to believe in this job or this career that you were in. You really are thinking about that. You're like, what am I going to do now? It's saying that there are possibilities for some of you to have careers that are to have a career after this career that has just ended. You know what I mean? You may have put in some time into this thing, but maybe that was all it was meant for. You've got to move on and move forward, knowing that all of your experiences were there to influence your new ones. Let's look at your goal. Oh, and I did mention the Temperance card, and I felt like it was going to be there at the very end of the reading. So you are being tested, right? This is the goal. This is what is what you're going towards. This is something that you cannot control. It's the rising position, right? It's those things that are just going to be there, that are just going to be projected. You're always going to feel like you're being tested, because you are, as long as you're living life on this earth. The Temperance card is talking about a need to tap into a belief system that is going to help you achieve your goals, right? This is Sagittarius. We're in Sagittarius season right now. I said everything was kind of mutable. The only mutable card we have in the reading is the Temperance card, Sagittarius, XIV, X10, Jupiter, also a 1 when you reduce it down. The 1 is a 1, obviously. It's the awareness that you have to make lemons out of lemonade, right? When the tough get going, the going gets tough. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Exactly. It is talking about endurance too, spiritual endurance. It's like you have to, just because you express that something is needed and it is not met at that moment, then you still have to have hope and have faith that that need can and will be met. Because if you're not putting any energy towards having it met, then nothing's being done about it. So this is saying that you're being tested. You're going to find your path to enlightenment in terms of realizing why you were going through this, why it was, an unsavory experience, one that didn't really taste very good to you. But maybe you took the wrong bite, you know what I mean? Or maybe you took a bite out of something that you weren't meant to eat. Temperance is calling for you to be able to roll with the punches, deal with the contractions and the expansions of things, understand when it is time to connect with the divine source. You know what I mean? Definitely be practical, but also allow yourself to acknowledge the emotions behind, the emotions that are being influenced by this test that you are facing. Oh, you gotta deal with it. Let me just pull one rune card for you, Pisces. Let's see what's going on. I'm still getting used to these cards, so okay. I don't even think I got to shuffle that. So this is talking about joy and bonds. Um, this rune has people dancing on it. I think it's called the gods. It's talking about joy, bonds, friendship, beauty, exuberance, excitability within, the beauty of life and how relationships transform themselves, right? They really do. And, it's just, and this is algas, which is the elk. It's like strength. Um, there's strength in bonds, right? And if you are disbanding something, then you're weakening it. And are you weakening something so that you can disintegrate, so that it can dissolve away because it needs to? Or is something being um, compromised? The infrastructure of something is being compromised because, you know, your karmic tests are definitely affecting those people that are around you that are karmic for you. You know what I mean? It's almost like because you are experiencing life and you are disappointed sometimes does not mean that you have to cast out people in order to make yourself feel like you're doing something about it. It's almost like you are making the people in your life that are meant to be there the reason why you are having problems. And it really isn't them, it's you, it's your life. You know what I mean? You wake up every day. They don't wake up as you. You don't wake up as them. So you got to start living your life like it's yours, okay? And doing what you want to do when you want to do it, and also accepting the fact that there are going to be things that you can explain and you cannot control, that you just have to allow, right? The card at the bottom of the runes deck is Ingas, and this is talking about protection. It's talking about boundaries too. So you actually might be isolating yourself, right? You are isolating yourself with all of this energy of sadness, loss, regret, resentment, um, confusion, wanting to promote yourself in life or wanting to feel a promotion in life and not getting that. You've got to let people in. And you can keep people out when they need to be kept out, but you definitely need to let people in that are deserving of being in. And also, they could show you a thing or two, probably, Pisces. Help you deal with all of these emotions that you're going through. All right, Pisces, if you would like to book a reading with me, you can email providencetarot@gmail.com. You can follow us on IG, Providence Tarot. We are also on Facebook. That page is interesting, to say the least. I'm at NYC Kendrick on Instagram. I'm also at Kendrick NYC. Thanks, Pisces.